I want to welcome everybody. I'm the moderator for this session today. I see a lot of old friends in the pictures before me, and I hope we can have a sort of open discussion, celebration actually, of the launch of a climate-friendly travel chapter in Ukraine. It has two purposes, basically. The first purpose is we want to bring climate-friendly travel everywhere. That is a tourism which responds to the Paris 1.5 climate imperative, incorporates the Sustainable Development Goals, and I know my friend Hans Fredrik is looking at me as well, is nature positive. How was that, Hans? Good? Thank you. Is nature positive? And we are launching around the world from SunX Malta, a not-for-profit organization which is partnered with the Ministry of Tourism in Malta. We're launching climate-friendly travel chapters in the world's poorest countries, in small island developing states, and today in Ukraine. These are the countries which need tomorrow's tourism more importantly than any other country. They're the ones who are very exposed to the war against the climate, and in Ukraine to the real world war. And they're the ones for whom tourism in the long-term future could make a real difference. And I want to focus our attention today on the Ukraine situation. We are very, very proud of our 4 students, if I may call you mature students, who've been working with us on a diploma in climate-friendly travel. And today is a big day for them because they're the ones who will be leading a new chapter. And as a kind of context, before I introduce some of our keynote speakers today, I want to say that I had not envisaged there was going to be tourism in the middle of a war, a terrible war that all of us here are here because we want to show solidarity with Ukraine. That's why we're doing that. That's the main purpose of being here. But our students have been telling me that there is real tourism going on in Ukraine. And that's what we wanted to have a discussion about today, to give some hope, to learn what exactly is happening with tourism in Ukraine. I hope at the end of this seminar, we will know a little bit more. And in a sense, to build a community of support for a chapter which is going to be moving forward in the future to advance this kind of green and clean, with a big emphasis on clean tourism in the future. So Mrs. Mariana Oleskiv, who is the chairperson of the State Agency for Tourism Development of Ukraine. And before you play the video, I just want to say how honored we are that Mariana would join us today. She's actually in Rwanda, I guess, for the WTTC summit. And she sent us a video, and we're honored that you would do this, Mariana.
I'm here today to address you this very important message about general situation in the climate and environment in Ukraine. As you all know, we have the war going on for almost 2 years that is destroying nature resorts, parks, forests, and has influence on our environment that is really huge and will be seen not only in Ukraine but all around the world. The blowing of Kakhovka Dam caused a huge damage to nature around, to animals and people in many ecosystems in this area. While whole civilized world is fighting against climate change is trying to lower pollutions, carbon initiatives are taking place by many airlines, by all travel agents and tourism companies. At the same time, much more damage is being caused by this Russian invasion in Ukraine. So from our side, as Ukraine, we are members and we join all the climate initiatives and are ready to take any action that we can in order to preserve our planet, to save nature, and to make peace in the world. Without peace, we cannot actually talk about any things preserving nature. And we see what totalitarianism is bringing to the world. We have Chernobyl disaster zone as an example of what these kind of states like Soviet Union was, like Russia is now, is causing to humanity. And also we can see there that nature wins, because where the squares were, now we see trees, we see all the animals again living in that area. They haven't been living there for decades. So again, the nature is taking over. So the question is, will we humanity, will we people stay on this earth? And this all depends on us. Thank you and have a productive conversations and discussions today.
Unmute yourself, Kefri, please.
Thanks very much, Ollie. And obviously, thank you to Mariana, and also particularly for putting the focus on the climate issue. I hope we can keep that in a perspective as we spend time today together. Everywhere in the world is facing the war against climate, and Ukraine is facing two wars now, the climate war and the war on the ground. And our second speaker who's going to talk to us is Mrs. Yulia Ovchinnikova, who is one of the people's deputies of the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine.
First of all, thank you very much for possibility to be today with you, and thank you for this really nature positive initiative which will be open in our country. So, but it's our worries continue, and this is where it's really genocide against the Ukrainian nation and the Ukrainian state. But this, at the same time, this is enormous ecocide in our country, and it's crime against the environment of whole Europe. But Ukraine is fighting and think about our future, our victory, and of course the green recovery. And by the way, it's necessary to say a lot of words about Ukraine. It really has a great tourist potential. Most European countries have a lot of historical and cultural heritage. I reckon it's crucial to mention the tourist potential of Ukraine nature. In contrast to many countries, in Western Europe, we still have preserved untouched mountains, forests, steppes, and swamps. They are tourist magnets because the demand for a communication with the wild nature is increasing. So the territory of Ukraine is significant for the preservation of Europe's biodiversity. Occupying less than 6% of the continent's area, Ukraine processes 35% of its biodiversity. So, and the development of tourism has many nuances. The key is sustainability. All of us perfectly understand that wild nature is a fragile system which is very easy to damage or destroy. Therefore, the development of such tourism should be sustainable, careful, and thought out the smallest detail. So green tourism applies ecological management methods. It's focused on nature conservation. Also, it's sustainable because it functions on mutually beneficial condition for the environmental, citizen, business, and tourists. So this kind of tourism is founded on the principle of protecting the environmental, social development, economic growth, and reducing the impact of climate. So enterprises engaged in green tourism contribute to the reduction of negative environmental and social consequences of tourism. So, and the business has social responsible approach. Today, when the planet is suffering from human activity, wars, and climate change, green tourism is rushing forward. Annually, it increases by the 10–15% around the world. So Ukraine is not exception. In particular, sustainable tourism is actively developing at the many national parks and natural reserves. Support for such development is an important and expected direction of work. This is a matter of time and resources, and I believe in successful of this process in Ukraine. So I reckon if we talk about sustainable tourism, we should be setting tourism magnets, taking into consideration all international standards in the best European practices. We can build the resort in places under international environmental protection, such as Territory of Nature 2000 or Emerald Network. So it's very important not to forget another point. The tourist industry does not exist in a vacuum. Depending on circumstance, other spheres of human activity can have a positive or a negative impact on tourism. So, and to develop sustainable tourism in Ukraine, it's necessary to take ecological factors into account thoroughly and systematically when planning and implementing any measures. And even during the Russian full-scale invasion of Ukraine, we are taking care of further development and recovery of our country, which should be based on green principle of reconstruction and European Green Deal. And of course, after the victory, Ukraine will flourish as a world tourist pearl with unique nature and as a real country of heroes. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that very, very to the point and thoughtful intervention, Julia. And I hope you're an influential member of the legislature. I hope that as we move forward beyond this seminar and our chapter begins to work, we can work with you to actually turn some of the points that you have been mentioning into real world programs in the when Ukraine begins to open up again, and as you rightly say, when you have a victory.
Thank you very much. With pleasure. I hope for the further cooperation fruitful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we do too, very sincerely. And we're going to hear soon, but from Theodora. But you know, we have with us the European Travel Commission, and they are also very positive and active about on the future of your country. So we're looking forward to collaborating with you. I'm now going to ask Mrs. Marina Radova, who is the head of the Department of Tourism and Promotion from the Kyiv Municipal State Administration. Mariana, I hope you're here.
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everyone. First of all, I would like to, I want to start by thanking you all for giving us this opportunity to participate in this event. And I see a huge amount of my colleagues from our sphere. I'm really glad. What can I add to previous speakers? I don't know, but it was really brave. It was really cool. First of all, I would like to say that tourism in Kyiv exists. It's the main slogan that we have a tourism in Kyiv, but not in such classical way as it was before the war. We have a lot of projects, we have a lot of ideas, but now we are focused on the excursions, we are focused on some projects connected with the hospitality. Also, we are aimed at medical tourism. It's a very important sphere nowadays regarding to the war in our country. And of course, we have now the different changes when we can see in our streets and our excursions, a lot of people from the different regions of Ukraine, but there are also a lot of foreigners, because they are trying to understand how can we work, how can we struggle for our independence, and how can we develop our sphere. That's why it's really important to collaborate all our participants, members of our industry of hospitality, to provide our sphere, and not to be how I would say, it's better that our sphere should live and should be live. Also, I would like to say that we have nowadays we have very good good numbers regarding to our tourism, Ukrainian tourism. And we are aimed at the excursion which helps our tourists from the different regions to feel free and to feel much better, because nowadays we feel all this impact from the war, and that's why we need to put our my colleagues, our tourists, and all our families, and we should make all the things to wait and to invite people after the victory, because of course now we can't invite classical tourism different events, because nowadays we have a war. But after the victory we are inviting all people, all foreigners to come and to support Ukrainians. When you come to our cities, when you visit our beautiful cities, a lot of cities we have in Ukraine, also starting from the capital, I think that you have a good memories, and after that you would like to back to our country. If you have any questions, I would like to ask you to answer, and if you have any ideas, because it's a very complicated theme, climate. I'm not so ready to have conversation about climate, but I know some things, and we had some meetings with the guys from the organization which are very aimed on this protect of the climate and all the things. But if you have some ideas how we can cooperate, welcome.
And I think the point you were making, you have domestic tourism at the moment, and you will have international tourism once the war is at an end. And let me say again that we, and with our chapter, we hope to be able to have a much bigger seminar actually in Kyiv once you're in that situation. And we are here to support you as you go through the next years. I want to ask Theodora, I can see you there. Hi, Theodora, again. Would you like to say something? Theodora is from the European Travel Commission, which is representing all of the European countries in tourism. And she no doubt will tell us about it, but please, Theodora, the floor is yours. She's an old friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Good afternoon, dear graduates, distinguished guests. Dobry deň. Let me start by saying what a pleasure it is to be with you today, celebrating this amazing initiative to promote climate-friendly travel education in the places where this is most needed worldwide. Indeed, the European Travel Commission has a long history in collaborating with Cenex Malta, and we have seen firsthand the amazing work that Jeffrey and Cenex Malta are doing to drive Europeans' green transformation through education across the world. And as climate change is such an existential threat, we as a tourism industry, we cannot ignore it anymore. Climate change is happening now, and it's already impacting our industry. In Europe, in particular, we are faced with immense heat waves during the summer season, winters without snow on our mountains, and tourism as an industry depends on predictable weather patterns. And so there's no doubt that our industry will change in the coming decades. So we need to be ready for those changes when they come and proactive about mitigating further damage to our destinations and to the planet. Ukraine is sadly facing an even more immediate kind of threat. With the brutal Russian invasion and war in the country, understandably, tourism is now limited. But once the violence subsides, once you win and the recovery begins, tourism has the potential to play an integral part in rebuilding the country. Our organization, ETC itself, was established to leverage the power of tourism to rebuild Europe after the Second World War. So we know the immense economic and social benefits that tourism can bring to a damaged destination. And we are, of course, very proud to count on the State Agency for Tourism Development of Ukraine as one of our members, together with all our other national tourism organizations of Europe who are our members. In opening this Ukrainian chapter, SNS Malta is taking a powerful step in bringing sustainable tourism education to Ukraine so that you can relaunch the Ukrainian tourism industry on the best footing possible, whenever that's possible. This is an opportunity to bring vital skills and knowledge about sustainability to Ukrainian tourism enterprises, not only creating a more climate-friendly travel industry from the start, but also leveraging sustainability social and commercial benefits when they are most needed. We at ETC wholeheartedly wish you all the best of luck in this endeavor, and please count on us as a firm supporter of Ukraine, and indeed, as Jeffrey said, a believer in the bright future of Ukrainian tourism.
Thanks very much, Teodora. And I should tell everybody, inside the ETC, it's Teodora that is driving the sustainability programs and who has really a very strong green vision for Europe. And it's always a pleasure to be at events with you and to listen to you and to work with you. And I hope we can do something together in Ukraine once the situation becomes more rational. I just want to say a couple of words about what we hope to do with you in SunX. We have been working for 4-5 years to develop what we call a diploma in climate-friendly travel, a postgraduate diploma. And after I've spoken, you're going to hear from 4 of our students from Ukraine who've been taking this diploma in the past year. And now they're going to become a chapter. They're going to build a climate-friendly travel community in the country. We have with us Hans Friedrich. Hans, if you'd like to wave to people. We've created a registry for climate ambitions, and Hans is the registrar. You may want to say some words yourself, Hans, when I've finished, please. We also have now our new chapter, which is going to be a driver of our activity. We have created 2 new social enterprises in the last few months, one of which is aiming at climate-friendly travelers, at young, particularly tomorrow's travelers, the ones who learn about Earth Day in school, who have a passion for trying to make everything they do respond to the climate imperatives and the sustainability imperatives. And we have with us Jed Brown somewhere. Jed, and again, please feel free to say something about the club that you're creating to help create a movement of climate-friendly travel. And last but not least, up in the top corner, Ollie Wheatcroft. Ollie's leading an initiative that we call Climate-Friendly Travel Services. And Climate-Friendly Travel Services has been set up to help countries and to help companies create what we call a plan B. What kind of a future tourism would anybody need that puts the climate response imperative at the start of their decision-making? And we're using artificial intelligence to help countries and to help companies develop a plan B, even whilst they're continuing on their plan B, on their plan A. We are conscious that the IPCC has said we need to peak our emissions by 2025. Peak by 2025. Halve them in line with the EU's green approach by 2030. And we would argue zero greenhouse gases by 2050. And we're developing plan Bs with communities. And I want to say here today, working with our students and our new chapters, we intend to provide a plan B for Ukraine as a model of how these kind of things can be created for the future. Not just a declaration, a commitment to a certain pathway, a promise of what Greta Thunberg calls net zero, blah, 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 but a real plan with goals and KPIs and objectives. And I want to make it clear today to all our friends from Ukraine, through our new chapter, we're going to help you put one of these together, and we're going to do it at no cost, thanks to the support we have from the government of Malta. We want to do something which can make a contribution to your future. So with that, I want to turn the floor over to our students. And here they are. Victoria, you're in charge of this. Ollie started screen sharing.
Hello to everyone. My name is Victoria Kiptenko. In fact, I wanted to join climate-friendly travel diploma when it started. My wish came true in 2022. In July that year, I got notification that my address will be satisfied, and even more, Ukraine got additional 3 grants. I have joined CFT diploma without any hesitation. Why? Because we do not have Planet B. Because we, people of the planet, for over a decade, overshoot Earth's capacity in August every year. Because climate change is existential, together with other challenges questioning the future at a code red level. Why? Because we do not have another Ukraine, Ukraine B. Because we, people of Ukraine, must know that far in 2018, CO2 emissions directly impacting climate change were already in the red code status in our country. Because ongoing war and large CO2 emissions on 120 million tons around the globe. Why? Because my life is related to tourism. From 1987, I guided tours, taught and teach students, studied tourism and sustainability, and practiced applied projects. Because tourism is responsible for only 8% of the world's carbon emissions. From plane flights and boat rides to souvenirs and lodging, various activities contribute to tourism's carbon footprint. And actually, because Sonic's Malta diploma is practically oriented and in arms with beneficial tools. Well, climate-friendly travel diploma. Why climate-friendly travel? Why? Because I found like-minded, motivated comrades in arms who want to gain knowledge and skills, to get acknowledged with instruments to make climate-friendly travel true. Because CFT chapter, supported by Sonic's Malta, is a community solidarily working together and providing resources and instruments like registry, knowledge hub, services, and others. Because tourism needs them to be introduced to our colleagues in Ukraine and implemented by our common efforts. Well, climate-friendly travel, why? Because our initial survey proves that the majority of people from different subsectors related to travel in Ukraine recognize the interrelated impacts between climate and tourism, because the majority of our respondents confirmed their interest in climate-friendly travel and questioned how it works to the benefit of our common future. Because I consider time is right and ambitious and motivated ones are ready to success. And I invite my colleague, Katerina, to introduce you some more details.
Thank you, Victoria. Really, our initial survey describes the importance of climate-friendly travel for Ukrainians. Moreover, many of our respondents asked us about concrete proposals for Ukrainian travel and tourism. So, what are we able to offer? I'm Katerina Lugova. I'm a travel and tourism consultant researcher, and I'm happy to be one of Ukraine climate-friendly travel chapter leaders and the intern on the CFT diploma. The Ukraine chapter of Sonex Malta is the entry point for travel and tourism sector to the UN system, as well as a support for travel and tourism companies and organizations of our country. First of all, because Ukrainian community gets the opportunity to join for free the Sonex Malta climate-friendly travel registry. The CFT registry is the support network that was created for all travel and tourism players, from the smallest to the largest. Local authorities, NGOs, transport, hospitality, travel service, and infrastructure providers, etc. The membership of the CFT registry gives registrants benefits of using from the knowledge and support systems as information in its innovation, strategy, learning, and visibility hubs to develop their green and post-war recovery plans. Your company, community, or organization needs only 2 steps to join for free. Fill out the registration form to express support for climate-friendly travel and a general climate-neutral 2050 ambition, and then have up to only 2 years to learn about the ways to do this and prepare to register a detailed carbon reduction plan named Plan B. It is based on individual climate risk analysis, developing mitigation, adaptation, and inclusivity strategies. We will help you to figure out your Plan B and provide AI-supported solutions. On top of this, and as the answer to another question of our respondents about efficient solutions to become more sustainable, we also present you Climate-Friendly Travel Services platform as one-stop shop for climate resilience solutions. It delivers a diverse collection of climate and sustainability support to help companies and destinations. CFT Services collaborates with over 30 partners offering an extensive range of climate resilience solutions. They range from climate resilience analysis, emissions measurement and management, to climate-friendly travel apps to better promote climate action. So, interested in joining the register and using the services? Ukraine Climate-Friendly Travel Chapter is ready to assist you. And now, I want to turn the floor over to my colleague. Irina, please continue.
Thank you, Kate. Becoming the CFT registrant will also give Ukrainian travel and tourism entities another big advantage: more visibility amongst the community of climate-conscious travelers from all over the world. And about that further. Hi, I am Irina Okolovich, PhD, sustainable tourism expert and climate-friendly travel passionate. What Sonex did is they united our team of inspired tourism professionals and gave us not only the knowledge and information, but also the practical tools which we can use and unconditional support in delivering the climate-friendly travel principles, low carbon, sustainable development goals linked and Paris 1.5 oriented for the post-war recovery of tourism in Ukraine. Amongst other initiatives, earlier this year, Sonex launched a new social enterprise for climate-friendly travelers, the Climate Friendly Traveler Club, which aims to connect climate-conscious travelers with climate-friendly travel organizations. Not to go into details, after becoming network members, our Ukrainian tourism stakeholders will also have a possibility to be a part of this like-minded community, where members will benefit from staying and traveling with genuinely environmentally friendly organizations, whilst contributing to the efforts to support a variety of climate-friendly initiatives. Another important activity of Ukraine's CFT chapter will be implementing purposeful CFT projects. Indeed, according to the results of the conducted survey, more than 62% of tourism stakeholders believe that the introduction of eco approaches is crucial for the further development of the tourism industry in Ukraine, and we already have some ideas in this direction. Thus, some of you have emphasized the need to raise awareness and public demand for the implementation of sustainable thinking. We will be glad to work with our universities to introduce sustainable and climate-friendly tourism principles to their current training programs. For the same purpose, we are partnering with the newly established Academy of Rural Development to ensure more sustainable operation of Ukrainian rural hospitable estates. Also, we are keen to launch the Education and Sustainable Hubs with online promotion lectures, workshops and conferences with the goal of engaging those interested in researching, spreading and promoting the CFT ideas for post-war recovery. It will be a space for youth, creative ideas for sustainable local development, and a community of future CFT champions, as well as a community for travelers and professionals to help them become greener in their travel and work lifestyle. We are ready to mentor and support initiatives of various travel and tourism entities about including CFT in their strategies and development programs. We are inviting you to contact us with your project ideas, including those related to the preservation, protection and restoration of environment, climate, heritage and culture through tourism. We are open to collaboration with businesses, educational institutions, NGOs, destinations or local authorities. And I invite my colleague Maria to talk a bit more about that. Let's start building a climate-friendly future of Ukrainian tourism together.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear tourism professionals, change makers and colleagues. I am very glad to greet you all on our online event on the International Solidarity with Ukraine and the launch of Ukraine Climate-Friendly Travel Chapter. My name is Maria Rastvorova. I am a PhD in human geography, practitioner and researcher in the field of destination branding, tourism development and governance. The national trainer for the tourist guides certified by the World Federation of the Tourist Guide Associations, Tourist Guide, and a member of the Ukrainian Tourist Guide Association. I am feeling proud and happy for having taken the chance to study on the climate-friendly travel diploma and having become the leader of the Ukraine Climate-Friendly Travel Chapter and Climate-Friendly Travel Initiative for Ukraine. I would like to thank to Professor Jeffrey Lippman, Sun X Malta team, the European Travel Commission, World Tourism Network, Institute of Tourism, led by Reza Soltani, and many of international organizations, foreign businesses, companies, and people who have provided their support and solidarity with Ukraine, starting from the first days of the full-scale Russian military invasion to Ukraine. Your demand to visit Ukraine and your assurance in the perspectives of the Ukrainian tourism recovery is a very strong support and solidarity for us as the Ukrainian tourism professionals. Thus, does the tourism exist in Ukraine right now? During the ongoing full-scale Russian military invasion and war, does the work on the tourism development continue? During the first section of our event, we have already heard a lot of presentations and facts proving that tourism is alive in Ukraine despite the ongoing full-scale war. The answer yes is both amazing and surprising. There are lots of life choices of lots of people. For this, yes, tourism is alive in Ukraine, as the heroism of each of the soldier or the Ukrainian military forces. The Ukrainian people love to live and willingness to celebrate each moment they have. and the strong dedication to work and deep faith in the perspective of Ukrainian tourism, of the Ukrainian tourism professionals, public servants, tour operators, tourist guides, hoteliers, owners of green rural houses, university lecturers who teach tourism, and young people who have chosen tourism as their future profession. Having made the analysis of the questionnaire responses on the significance of the climate-friendly travel approach, we were deeply touched by the amount, the impact, and the scale of the initiatives being implemented right now and aimed to develop and recover Ukrainian tourism sector based on the international and climate-friendly travel standards. As, for instance, the project Academy of Hospitality, initiated and implemented by the Tourism and Promotions Department of the Kyiv City State Administration, headed by Ms. Marina Radova, and the Ukrainian Tourist Guide Association, led by Ms. Yanina Gavrilova. The impressive project on rural tourism development, Boykivsky Karpaty, initiated and implemented by Dr. Vitaly Perederko, the head of tourism division of the Ivano-Frankivsk Regional State Administration. The projects of the NGOs Zero Waste and Green Dossier and others. The steps for climate-friendly tourism are made by green rural houses as Holodnoyarsky Zarepad, Teterivsky Kish, Lelechi Clean, and others, and continuous activities for the tourist guides organized by the Ukrainian Tourist Guide Association. Lots of different cases have proven that tourism is crucially important for the economic development and regional development, even during difficult times. People need tourism and recovery to be strong and to continue our struggle with the aggressor. Tourism is in time for Ukraine right now. And right now, we are both the observers and the actors of the Ukrainian tourism transformation. Due to the high interest from the foreign countries to Ukraine as a tourist destination, increase of the service demand from the side of Ukrainian tourists, and the co-threat of the climate change, the implementation of the climate-friendly travel approach is must to do for Ukraine. Right now, we are both the observers and the actors of crystallizing and enforcing of the Ukrainian tourism professional community. The team of resistant and brave people with a strong love and dedication to tourism, already searching for the most effective way to post-war tourism recovery for Ukraine. As Ukraine climate-friendly travel chapter team, we are doing our best to implement climate-friendly travel approach for Ukrainian tourism. We are happy to share our knowledge and expertise gained during the SANEX climate-friendly travel diploma course and to mentor Ukrainian tourism authorities, businesses, territorial communities, and stakeholders on our common way to climate-friendly travel approach and post-war tourism recovery. We invite you to join our community and to fill your feedback via link you see in the chat right now. The war, COVID pandemics, and events which happen in the world with a kaleidoscopic speed and the cold threat of climate change have proven that we don't have Life B, Time B, Ukraine B, and Planet B. Thus, our present and future are in our hands. And together, we will manage. Thank you for your dedication.
There are very few things that are as pleasing for a teacher as to listen to how good his students are. And it's been a pleasure to have you on our course the last year. And it's been a pleasure actually to learn from you today about what a strong future Ukraine can have. So I want to thank all of you for your dedication, for your commitment, and for your thinking about how this chapter is going to function, because I'm sure that, as you said, together we can make a big difference. And again, I'm going to include my friend Theodora in this, because everybody is behind you. It's not just us at Sunex Malta. With that, I'd like to open the floor for a little while to see if anybody would like to comment. Just raise your hands and Reza will give you the floor.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Yes, say a few words. I think the biggest thing is what a wonderful meeting this is. What a great start. I also must say thank you very much, Katerina, for explaining the registry so well. It's really very, very clear what we're trying to do. What I hope is that we can invite hotels, travel agencies, tour operators in Ukraine to join the registry, so we can build that community, but also show it on the map that there are places in Ukraine that you should go and visit. There are places in Ukraine that are serious about climate action, serious about sustainability. And if we can help with that, that's great. As Jeffrey said, we are here to create that community, to help the chapter doing what they think should be done in Ukraine. And when we can do that and when we can really crank it up to a higher level, I think we can help individual entities with their sustainability and climate action. As Jeffrey said, we're calling it Plan B now. We want to work both with the community, but also with individual entities to see how we can help them to put together a plan for the future that thinks about climate, that takes care of climate, and that helps you to really build a tourism industry that is robust and resilient. So again, congratulations. Looking forward to the next steps. Thank you.
Thank you, Hans. You forgot to say, and is nature positive?
Of course, that's obvious, isn't it, for Ukraine?
For those of you who haven't met Hans, I'm sorry, somebody else is speaking, but I don't know who and where. Can you tell us who you are and
thank you for invitation. We are new here. That's why we have lots of questions. So just first, where we can find more information about this Plan B, because we are curious, of course, and what you can recommend us.
Ollie, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, certainly I can share my details and we can have a discussion afterwards. But we've developed an approach which starts with adaptation. It then covers climate-friendly travel growth, and then it looks at specific recommendations on implementation. And obviously what we're looking at, we're using artificial intelligence through the services company to correlate against the country's NDC, relevant sustainable development goals, and also the tourism and environmental strategy for that country. And then looking at, on the implementation side, about specific partner organizations that can help with implementation for whichever particular priorities are identified from that Plan B climate action plan. So for example, we have specialists in waste management, water conservation, energy, infrastructure, and it's very specific to either the destination or the company and community, and it can be applied across the spectrum. It could be for a national tourism plan, or conversely for a small tourism company. So I'd be happy to share further details after the event with yourself and anyone else. But a lot of the information is covered on our website, climatefriendlytravelservices.com. But like I say, very happy to have conversations after the event.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Of course, it cannot be too much of climate conscious in the travel industry. And it's very good that we are about to start a chapter in Ukraine. My question, if to go from the thanks, but to the real question. My question is, would you recommend, or which country would you recommend to check or to research the Plan B made for in Europe? Ukraine is a big country, and of course we have different regions, different eco-regions. So maybe the country to cross-check ourselves with. A country which has the regional disparities and where we can check the distribution between the actions in the Plan B between the national and the regional level. Because, you know, we are a part of Chernobyl experiment we were forced into. Now we have this huge disaster with the Kakhovka water reservoir, which is also the so-called experiment for the next decades, and we were forced to that again. So which country do you think the Plan B is most developed as of today, so I can check ourselves again?
Okay.
Thank you.
Valentin, I know that, so you work in tourism industry. We have communicated before. Maybe you can first say who you are, where you work. Because I remember you used to work in tourism industry in Viditsa, or I forgot.
Zakarpattia. Hello, brother. I'm coming from the westernmost region of Ukraine. It is Zakarpattia. It is located on the border with Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania. And we are Carpathian region. I had the honor to be part of working group on developing the strategy for sustainable tourism for the Carpathians. And of course, the role of Ukraine in the Carpathians is crucial and irreplaceable, because actually we connect the western part of Carpathians with its southeast part. We connect the cluster of Poland, Czech, and Slovakia with the cluster of Romania and Serbia. So basically, I'm representing the regional tourism organization, and I'm working more on the destination level, not as a tour operator or guide.
Thanks, Valentin. Theodora, I wonder if you wanted to come in here to talk about what are the sort of European advanced countries in thinking in this area.
I think that, I mean, we have a lot of different best practice in Europe, but I'm afraid that it's very difficult to generalize, especially because, as you say, Ukraine is a big country, and the challenges that each destination is facing are different. I think that the most important thing to keep in mind is that, I mean, Ukraine is part of ETC. They are also actively participating in our climate change mitigation chapter. And it's very interesting to follow the progress that all the destinations are doing for whatever stage of the process they're at. So it doesn't matter if you're starting or you have done a lot or you're very much advanced, such as, for example, there are some destinations such as Finland or the Netherlands or Slovenia who have focused for a very long time on sustainability and specifically in climate. And they're really the leaders at the moment. But whichever stage of the journey you are, you have a lot, you can learn a lot from the others, and you should not be too worried to do things in the best possible way, but you should start working. And I think that in this case, it's amazing to see all these people participating today and what you're all doing together, because you've already started doing. You're not waiting to do it perfectly, you're just learning on while you're doing. Education is very important, and these chapters, it's again to underline that, okay, a good basis is important, but the most important thing is to launch yourself and to just start doing, because we are already late. I mean, Jeffrey, not to be too alarmist or pessimistic, but you know, I don't see us reaching at the moment peak in 25, and I believe that you agree with me. And the worst of all, scientists agree with us. And we need to do more. We need to do more. And this is a gathering of doers. And it makes me very happy to be here with you and to see this happening.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Theodora. We are not going, because most people aren't even talking about peaking in 2025. And we will be releasing some material in the next month from the TPCC, the Tourism Panel on Climate Change, a new group of of climate scientists that basically says that all of the travel activity around the world is actually increasing its carbon. There are very few places that are focused on how could you even bring it to a new level. So there's a lot of work to do. And I just want to mention, and I know that Marina is going to say something on this, but I just want to mention, Ollie made the point that with this new system that we've developed using artificial intelligence, our first focal point is going to be on adaptation. Because whilst most of the discussion to date has been on measuring carbon, reducing it, offsets, net zeros, the real challenge is in the extreme weather, which is happening increasingly everywhere. And we've seen this with floods across Europe last year, Germany, Belgium, and we can only expect worse. So the first step we're going to try to help people to do is to put an adaptation strategy in place, even whilst you're saying, how can I reduce my carbon emissions? But I know that Marina wanted to say something. Where are you, Marina? Oh, there you are again. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat, please?
No, I got a note that said that you wanted to say something after Theodora.
Yeah, I saw the presentation. Good job, and I need to think over about our cooperation between Kyiv regarding in all our country, because we need to emphasize some maybe 3 points for cooperation. I think Valentin, I know Valentin, we worked during some period for Carpathians project, and I think maybe we will need to find out some common ways how to cooperate between our ecosystem, between our cities, between our resorts, between our destinations, how to attract and how to put all these domestic tourists inside our countries. That's why it's a new thing for me. I'm honestly with you. That's why maybe I will need your help to put much more in this thing, because decarbonization, climate, it's all such complicated elements now in our life. That's why I will ask you for help, for assistance, for consultants maybe, and maybe we make a roadmap, some common roadmap to how we can move from cities to different regions and to save our climate and other things. But first of all, the victory, of course.
First of all, the victory. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Marina. We're all with you on that issue. Jed Brown, you are lurking around somewhere.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Jeffrey, and thank you very much, everybody. It's been a fascinating discussion. And for my part, my name is Jed Brown. I'm the CEO of the Climate Friendly Travel Club, which is a social enterprise which we've set up to help the registry members to gain more travellers and more climate-friendly travellers at that. And I just wanted to say that I'm super excited at the prospect of featuring Ukraine on the Climate Friendly Travel Club. And I just wanted to speak a few words, if I may, on one of the ways that I think that we should do that is, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, and it's about the cultural heritage. And it was mentioned earlier on, I forget which speaker was speaking about it. And I think it deserves a little bit more of a place, because typically when we think of cultural heritage, we always think of the great golden domed churches in Kyiv, and we think about buildings and the fortresses which are scattered throughout Ukraine. But cultural heritage is more than that. Cultural heritage is, we always say, it's the invisible skin that we wear that defines us. We are a product of our cultural heritage, and that cultural heritage can also be slightly less tangible in its means. So, you know, I know from research, I've never had the fortunate position to have traveled to the Ukraine in the past, but we know that there's this intricate Easter egg decorating, pisanki. We know that that's one of the traditions that you have, which sort of really showcases the skill and creativity of the Ukrainian people. Traditional music and dance is another great form of cultural heritage, which we're looking forward to showcasing to the world, including the energetic Hopak dance, which is a really celebrated form of expression, which I think captivates and will captivate audiences worldwide. The cuisine of Ukraine as well, that's something which is to be celebrated and something that we can talk about and really showcase to our audience as well. You also have a rich literary cultural heritage as well, with some absolute giants, the likes of Shevchenko and Uklenko. So I think there's a huge amount to be excited about and to showcase that cultural heritage, because increasingly what I'm finding, and like Jeffrey and the others, I've been in the industry for many, many years, and what we realize as we go through is more and more people want to travel to engage with the culture, the heritage, and the people of the destination. And that's something which Ukraine is incredibly rich in, all of those qualities, and will remain so when the war is won as well. And I'm particularly delighted to be able to showcase Ukraine in the Climate Friendly Travel Club for a new generation of climate friendly travelers in the future. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much. It's been fascinating.
Thanks, Jed. And I see we have one last speaker, which is Anil from India. Anil, you're going to tell us how we're going to bring hundreds of Indian travelers to Ukraine once this war is over, right?
Yes, 3 points I'll try to convey here, sir. First, the chapter opening from Ukraine was a complete surprise for us. When Jeff was introducing, we are going to have a chapter launch in Ukraine, it was completely like an eye-opener for us, because we were anticipating, very, shabby mood and all stuff. But the hope of people of Ukraine is really surprising for us. I really appreciate that. And even, as a citizen of the globe, I want to show my solidarity for all you people. So that is my first appreciation, is my first pointer. And someone asked, how actually, the other people, Jeffrey was also asking how Indian tourists can come there and what maybe the India can give to the chapter of Ukraine. I just go in little history. In 2012, I was actually, working with some organization. We were doing something very similar for SMEs, small and medium scale entrepreneurs, that is for industries. And we were asking them to adopt for climate friendly technology. So we were actually getting climate finances to those companies so that they can adopt them. And in that, I was one of the key members. At one juncture, I was also having ecotourism companies and some of the travel companies who want to adopt the technology, but the climate fund was not accepting those projects. I was fighting with my organization. This is wrong, because they are the largest polluters. They also need some kind of climate finance to implement this kind of projects. But it never happened. And with Jeffrey's and the safety's team, I could see the same change is happening right now. So I'm very happy for that. And the model what we have adopted there is a voluntary signing of all the CEOs of the technology companies to reduce their emissions by next year by 2% and 3%. Similar model I could see as a mission for sustainable growth or sustainable development we can actually implement for our travel companies, and we will be able to follow the same thing from that. And here I'm actually learning how the chapter will be and how it will be launched. I'm actually here to learn those things. And the third point which I want to give away for the chapter members from Ukraine is, in the process of giving some technologies for the technology companies in India, we developed a lot of directories of clean technologies, water efficient technologies, energy efficient technologies, environment friendly technologies, and green building material technologies, lot of sensors. So this particular repository was made, and I'm very glad we made 3 of such books. Personally, I was heading those projects, and they might be like 300-400 pages of books on all technology that you wanted. Maybe this is what I need to offer on this table. So any of these technologies or any of the technical gaps you have got, I'm sure Jeffrey will be helping me out, and you can use my strength. And yeah, thanks a lot for giving this opportunity. I'm learning how the chapter has to be launched. Maybe something soon should happen for India too, and I pray for that. Thanks for Jeffrey and all CFT team.
Thank you, Anil. Let me say, I also see our student Shrestha Paul from India is on this course. Shrestha is going to be one of the chapter leaders in India. So I think, Anil, we'll make sure that you and Shrestha get together.
Sure, sir.
And when we launch the chapter in India, we've actually been talking about that in a separate conversation today. We can get you involved. Look, I think it's kind of time to pull this thing to an end. I want to try to share screens, Reza. I don't know if I'm able to do that. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I want to end on this note. And I see also, Maria, you can have the floor after I finish. I have an amazing sister. Every time people say, can we Google you? They Google me and they get my sister. And she's an actress, and in the UK, she's a Dane. And she's incredibly popular. She's appearing in Coronation Street, the soap opera, for many, many years. She's also a very sensitive and thoughtful person, and she draws pictures on her iPad. And about 2 months ago, Maureen Lipman, Dame Maureen Lipman is her name. About 2 months ago, she sent me this picture. Well, you can't see it. Yes, you can. There it is, which I'm holding up. And we've decided with Jed, with the club, for everybody who joins the Climate Friendly Travel Club in the course of the next year, we're going to give them a download of this picture. It's it just says it all. It basically says, are you crying? Are you crying? And we're all crying for you, I have to say. We're so pleased to have been able to have you as students, to have you as friends, to work with you going forward. And I'm sure that we can help bring something to Ukraine, even a small slice of climate-friendly travel when you succeed in getting your country back. Maria, did you want to say something as well?
And actually, I would like to emphasize again that this is our first event for the Ukrainian stakeholders, for the public servants, for the tour operators, for the tourist guides, and change makers in the field of the climate-friendly travel approach to tourism. And from my side, I'm really very deeply touched by your support and by the participation of our Ukrainian policymakers in the field of tourism, Ms. Yulia Ovchinnikova, the deputy of Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine, Ms. Marina Radova, the head of the Department of Tourism and Promotions of the Kyiv City State Administration, and Ms. Mariana Oleskiv, the head of the State Department of Tourism Development. And being as well the tourism professional from Ukraine and having a lot of colleagues in this field, I would like to emphasize that these people right now struggle with lots of challenges, and they have a lot of issues on their job and their work to support the existence of tourism in Ukraine. And this is fantastic that despite of these everyday continuous challenges, they found the force and motivation inside themselves, not only to think about current issues, but also to think about the post-war recovery and the post-war recovery on tourism based on the international and climate-friendly travel approach. And that's because I would like to say again that we strongly appreciate the support and the participation of the Ukrainian public servants, Ukrainian tourism professionals who find this time and find this inside force to think about the future and to work for the future. And I would like to emphasize again that this is the start of the climate-friendly travel initiative of Ukraine. This is the first event, and I'm pretty sure that in 1 year after the finish of our internships and after 1 year of our work, which will be continued, of course, our Ukrainian tourism community will be one of the best in the world based on their awareness and their results in the climate-friendly travel approach implementation. Thank you very much. And with this talk, I would like to say thank you again for people who continue to stay in the Ukrainian tourism and to work for its development.
Thanks, Maria. And I think it would be appropriate for Victoria, who has been marshalling all our students and me, marshalling me too, Victoria. Would you like to bring this to an end before we hand it back to Reza?
Thank you so much. And well, just following in my mind all the notions we got during the meeting, the expression of interest which we learned from the survey we already had and expressed here by colleagues from Ukraine, from India. Actually, I just wanted to say or to recall that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So we go step by step, and I would say I'm really enlightened today and inspired with such a good company. Indeed. I mean our colleagues from Ukraine, I mean our colleagues and teachers and assistants from Sunex Malta, I mean our classmates from our course of our diploma, because here maybe someone also noticed that we have our classmates from the diploma, and great greetings and thanks for you also to join us in this important day. So my idea is that well, step by step, with devotedness and engagement, without like competing inside us or in between us. If we do that well in coordination, if we actually assist each other, and what actually I think Theodora said, we have to do these steps, not to be just be so much entitled with this idea of best practices. We have best practices in Ukraine, and actually among I just a bit emotional now, but I know some people here, faces I see, these are people from Ukraine with their initiatives, with their projects, who are already best practices. So, and I'm thankful for our colleague from India. So we really have to exchange our experiences and to start this journey and to go together. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Victoria. And with that, I'll do my part of closing the seminar. I thank all of you who participated. And Reza, I give the floor back to you to finally say goodbye.
Okay, thank you so much. I just want to say very short how brave the Ukrainian people are. I have witnessed by my own eyes that the mother left her children at home and went to put the sandbags in front of all those cultural heritage. That's part of the Ukrainian culture. And that's what the invader want to destroy, that the Ukraine did not exist. The Ukraine exists and has a culture, and that can never be destroyed.